Welcome to Pagan Crafting. I'm your host, Kara. Today, we're going to make some DIY witchy stamps. We're going to do some very simple, easy to do beginner stamp carving. Then we're going to stamp them up on some paper and make some embellishments. Join me today as we have some fun and stamp away. So what we're going to use today is some carving pad. This is about 3.5, almost 4 millimeter. And we're going to have some X-Acto knife carving tools, some pencils, and some lino. I'm using Speedball lino cutter here. I did some research and looking at lots of reviews online that this wound up being one of the better tools to use. So I did spend a little bit more on it so they would last longer. Have some transfer paper as well, might try that out. You can just directly draw on with pencil, or you can do a little bit of shading and then transfer this way. Now my last stamp pad I was able to use the transfer paper and it didn't work out with this brand as well. So I'm going to just show you, you could use this, but I'm going to show you, yeah, it's not coming out dark enough. So I'm going to show you a second method right after this one. A good solid, like an HB or the B lead pencils are going to be really good to transfer onto this. It's making a slight imprint that is harder to see, but I should be able to make it work. Now I just printed off some line drawings off the internet. You can do your own drawings. I did that little skull drawing there. Or you can sketch directly on, but it's nice to have clean lines. So I'd kind of sketch on a paper first and then transfer that over. So I'm going to do a maple leaf, an oak leaf, and an ivy leaf. And we're going to do it so the leaf will be, when it's stamped, to be more black, and then you'll have the negative space where the veins will be. Just throwing down some HB pencil on the back. And this one should work out better. Now let's have a look. Yeah, that's way better. There, and I'm just going to give it another line over top of that. So I think I'm going to transfer the skull onto the secondary one because we're going to do a few of them here today. I'll demonstrate a couple of them, how to carve them out, and then we'll get into some stamping. I won't do a repetitive, but we'll carve out a couple of them together. I also drew a diamond, kind of like a quartz crystal down at the bottom, and I didn't do a very good job of it, so I just used the other side and made another stamp on the following side. Now there's some different sizes to choose from. I'm going to use the smallest, and this is kind of a medium V shape. And you don't apply a lot of pressure when doing these, so it's good if you want to just do a little tester on the side before you go around. Using your pointer finger with a slight bit of pressure, and it's all about the angle, so you don't want to gouge and dig into it. And just follow the line on the outside. I'm going to have it so this stamp is in a positive, so it's not the skull where it would be white is going to be all black. And this is where your little X-Acto knife is going to come in handy. But it doesn't have to be perfect around the edges because we're going to cut that out a little later. And when cutting out the nose, you want to angle it away from the line. So this one I created an upside down pyramid. And when doing circles, instead of using the tool to curve the whole pad around with you and try to keep your hand in one spot. And then you just dig out the little bits of it, carve out the meat of it, the space that you don't want to be stamped. And just cleaning up any edges that you see fit. Again, turning the pad with you, trying to keep your hand in one spot, and you'll get some really clean circles that way. Have a smooth surface for the stamp pad to flow on. Now just be careful cutting out the pad for this part so you don't cut yourself. So you can either go around the edges, I give it one more go around the edge, or you can continue to carve out, and so that way there's no imprint. I like it down a little bit farther. I go in about 1/4 of an inch of the blade, and I just make a line around the edging. And then with my longer blade, I now take off again about 1/8 of an inch to, about 1/8 of an inch around the edges, and it pops it out. Then you don't have to sit there and dig it out. And you have a really nice clean stamp pad that way too. You can go back and check the teeth a little bit, make sure they're a little sharper. And there you have it. After you stamp it, if you have any bits that tell you that you need to clean it up, you can easily do that. Now this one again, starting off, we're going to go around just the edges. Now I'm going to show you this leaf because as we're coming up to the end, you can angle it up just a bit. So as you're carving out with your Lionel tool, you want, as you're getting to the end of the line, you want to angle up and curve up your hand just like a little scoop. And then it will leave like a finer line, and you can get into some really nice points again around the edges. And now I'm not applying very much pressure for this one to get my finer lines, so I didn't have to switch to my fine tool. It's just a little bit less pressure, and you can create some finer detail with it. I really would suggest the Speedball tool. Out of all the reviews I saw, even looking up on Amazon, the reviews of all the different tools, they were saying a lot of the cheaper ones that were like $10 and under kind of thing, where they'd get very dull very quickly, especially after only carving a couple stamp pads. So I did spend the extra money on the Speedball one, and that way the tool's going to be sharper, longer, and you won't have to spend more money in the longer run. So that was one of the reviews that I saw quite a bit before investing into carving tools, was definitely spend a little bit more on your lino cutter, and it'll save you time and ripping and tearing apparently too. Now these stamp pads are relatively very soft to carve. So I am cutting the blade towards my thumb, but it is not hard to cut at all. It is really, really soft material. I chose a beginner's stamp pad, so they're not a harder one, and I found them on Amazon, super inexpensive. I'm sure you can find them from anywhere, but I just, out of all the pricings I was looking at, that seemed to be the best for the bulk, for the bang of the buck. Ha! So if you're looking to get into any stamp carving yourself, I would definitely hit some research on prices, where to pick them up, the quality. Sometimes the cheaper can make it harder to carve. They can rip and tear. Sometimes you get some good packages, where I got that pink little knife in a package that I spent before, which was super cool. I did a little bottle here and a large potion bottle. Loving it. It is so cute. We're going to stamp those up. I finished up the leaves. So we have an ivy leaf, an oak leaf, and a maple leaf. Lots of nice little detail for the veins and the leaves. I'm excited to see how these turn out, and my little skull. I think my favorite part of stamping, because it's relatively a new hobby for me, and all the extra bits I'll make things out of. So I don't waste anything. I keep everything. So I got some paper here. We got some watercolor paper for some stamping, and I'm going to be making some embellishments and ephemera that I'm going to be making as kits, and these are going to be some of the ones we're going to be getting. I got a little mushroom dude here that I made before, and I have the 4 elements: fire, air, earth, and water. And that's a goddess one that I recently caught. One of my first carvings I did, so it's a little, needs a little love, but it's one of the first ones I did. And those elements are the other first ones I've ever carved. So I carved the elements first, then made the goddess, and I made the mushroom. I got a package of 6 2x2-inch little guys for the carving kits, and it was a great starter kit for me. See if I liked it or not, or if it's hard, and I found it was great. So then I wound up getting a 12-pack. Ha! Let's see how these look. Ooh, my favorite part of the whole craft is the very first stamp. How does it turn out? How does it look? Did I do well? Did I make any mistakes? We shall see. Looks good. I did notice on the forehead of the skull it had a dust bit, so you can see that dot there now. Oh, and I thought it was salt from the paper, because I put salt effects on my watercolor to get little snowflakes. So I didn't realize that until later, until I watched, and then it wound up being a better stamp. Yeah, I still had that dot of dust at the top of his head, so baby wipes are going to be your friend. Baby wipes are amazing to clean these off with and clean off any debris, anything that's left behind. That turned out great. I love that little guy. Now the goddess. See how she turned out. Yeah. I'm stoked with that one. Let's try one of these. My dirty fingers. Oh my gosh, I'm so full of paint and ink. My ink pad's getting a little bit old, so it takes a couple extra little stamps. I think this will look cool. This will look like a potion bottle with like this purple and red background. Yeah, that turned out so cool. Ooh, the first stamp. Yay! I love the potion bottles. I'm going to make a whole bunch of different shapes and sizes too. I'm working on ephemera packs as I'm videoing this, and all these stamps are going to be in the ephemera packs too. So I would just stamp all over, and I'm going to cut all these out later. Oh, these worked out so great. Okay, what else do we got? Oh yeah, the little diamonds. Again, not wasting a thing. See, just the little bits you left. You can carve some little dots and circles just to give a little bit of interest on your grimoire or art journaling page. I didn't put enough ink on that one. Try a little bit more. Yeah, my ink pad's getting a little dry. Sad. Oh, I smudged that one, so I'll just cruise over to the other side. That worked out great. Ooh. Let's do the leaves now. I can't wait to see these ones look like. They look so professional. I'm gonna make some wooden blocks to mount these on too. I think that'll be a little bit easier for my pressure. I got tons of extra little pieces of wood in my bin. Look at that! Yeah! The ivy's gonna look cool. Then all I have to do is draw some curlicue vines in between the leaves when I do a bunch of these on a background paper. Oh, that one turned out great. I'm excited. These are all new to me. These are all the first time I've ever made stamps. I'm so excited. Oh, that turned out great too. Oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna do some red, orange, and yellow backgrounds and make them look like fall leaves in the autumn time. Ooh, it's gonna look so cool. I'm really stoked with these little potion bottles. Oh, I double stamped the top a little bit. Oh, I'm excited how they turned out. Oh, what's this one? Oh yeah, and the smaller potion bottle. You can see I just reused the other side. One side didn't work out too well. Put some little magic around the edges. And this one I have purple, red, and yellow. And there's the mushroom that I did. Well, thank you so very much for joining me today. I had a blast making these and look forward to these in the ephemera kits that I'll be selling on my Etsy store. So in each one of the kits, you'll see a bunch of these little stamps. So thanks very much for chilling out with me today. Throw me down in the comments if you also make some stamps. I would love to know the shapes and sizes that you make. Have yourself an absolutely magical day.